Shalom, Apostle, coming back at you with this truth, giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai. And I'm going to entitle this Transgender People Are Allowed to Join the Military. And as you see on the screen, we see three articles, CNN.com, NPR, and the Daily Beast. And this was all put up a day ago because I believe this is the highest court in the land, Supreme. I believe it went to the Supreme Court. I got to do some more reading, but anyway, starting actually in a little more than 2 weeks, you're gonna have it'll be in the news. They'll make a big deal out of it. And they'll even have certain news companies, well, I'll say all of them, pretty much all of them, will be at the various recruiting stations around Babylon. And I'm not talking about Vatican City either. Anyway, I'm going to just read these the headlines. It says DOG, which stands for Department of Justice, appeals ruling that because this was going through the courts when the current president Donald Trump, he was against this, but I mean you have this government is broken up into three parts. I can say the legislative, judicial, and executive, and Donald Trump represents the executive. So if the Supreme Court in a land or a judicial court rules that it's unconstitutional to not allow transgender people to join the military, then it ultimately stands. You know, they have the ultimate say as to what the law is in this country. Anyway, it says DOG appeals ruling that transgender people are free to enlist in U.S. military. And that was CNN.com. After court ruling, military will accept openly transgender recruits as of January 1st. And the last article is the Daily Beast. Third court finds Trump transgender military ban unconstitutional. Like I said, I didn't read too much into it. I don't know if this already went to the Supreme Court, but eventually it will be ruled by the Supreme Court. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with a scripture or two. Okay, this is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 14, and we'll read down to the 16th verse. It says, Yahweh have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt, and America is also known as spiritual Egypt in Revelation, the 11th chapter. It says Egypt to err in every work thereof, as because this place is going down. You know, this place is systematically going down on a spiritual level, on a moral level. This place is just going down. And you that are woken up, you can see it going down. The ones of you that can't see it, you just, you know, the Most High haven't, you know, opened your spirit to see it. And you got guys out there in Great Millstone that can't see anything because they're not looking for anything. They're not looking for the prophecy. So it seems like everything is the same. Like you came to this thing 3 years ago, 4 years ago, but it seems like everything is the same. Well, look, I watch the news. I that's all I listen to is the different news programs, the or so-called alternative media. I watch RT and Press TV, and I get into geopolitics, how the economy works in this country and around the world, because everything is global now. Anyway, it says, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit, neither shall there be any work for Egypt. And you can also read in Ecclesiastes in the scriptures, the 12th chapter, it speaks about the grinding shall cease, or the grinding shall be low. It says, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. 16. In that day shall Egypt be like unto woman. So you're gonna have a lot of these men enlisted into the military that are gonna join the military as women. And it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh of hosts, which he shaketh over it. So he's gonna shake this place, man. It tells you that in Isaiah, the 24th chapter. Anyway, I can go. There's a bunch of scriptures that come to mind that I quoted that I can read. You can read it on your own. I'm not making this video too long. Anyway, what I did was, if you look up the word perverse, and that's H5773, the word is, well, they say ave, which in the Hebrew is aywa ayun ayum. Let me say that again. I'm sorry. Aywa ayum, and it means distorting, perverting, warping. And warping means to bend. Now, when they refer to transgender people, they call them gender benders. Now, if you go to the etymology, the word there is aiwa, which means to bend, twist, distort, because that's a distortion of nature to for a man to chop his penis off and grow breasts like a woman, or pump silicone in their buttocks, and basically change their whole body to be like a woman. And there's a lot of people in the Christian world, some wacky ass Christians, they have nothing negative to say about homosexuals, because there's a lot of homosexuals in the church. There's a lot of openly gay homosexuals in the church. See, we here at Great Millstone, we go into everything, man. It says to bend. They're known as gender benders. because they're really not changing themselves. They're distorting their body and bending their body and shaping their body to be a woman. But if you were born a man, you were a man on the inside. So this is a perverse nation, man. And the Most High is bringing this whole thing together. Like I said, you men in Great Millstone that can't see this, meaning you're not looking, man. And the Most High is probably gonna make you take that chip. And the chip, you know, we always bring that up. You know, things are moving quickly. And in 2018, and I see that, you know, this devil, you know, going from drive to overdrive because they have an agenda. Anyway, it says to bend, twist, distort, to be bent, and they get bent over, be bowed down. So, this military, the U.S. military, you're gonna have you don't know if the man next to you is a homosexual. You're gonna have a lot of homosexual acts going on in boot camp and out there in the field. You're gonna have men that look like women that are gonna be bunking with women. You're gonna have women that have changed their body to be men. And then on top of the whole thing, they're all going to take that chip. And you Israelites out there, you have no business joining this man's military, especially now, man. Because everyone, you know, this is referred to in the scriptures as a northern army. You're all going to be led to the Middle East in the desert, and you're all going to be left there. Ain't no body bags coming home because you're gonna be disintegrated over there. You're gonna be a part of the desert. You're gonna be a part of the Middle East. Anyway, it says to be bent, be bowed down, be twisted, and that shit is twisted. When you look at your body as a man and you say you don't like your penis, you don't like the fact that you have a deep voice. You don't like the fact that you got hair on your chest. That's a bent, distorted, and twisted mind. And if you speak negatively about transgender people, which the scriptures is clearly against that. The scriptures are clearly against homosexuality, man. It says to be bent, be bowed down, be twisted, be perverted, to twist, distort, to do perversely, because what you're doing is a perverse act. To commit iniquity. And then, see, you Edomites in America, you Puritans and you pilgrims that came over here, you had the Bible in tow. So when you took the Bible to yourself, you have to deal with the law, statutes, and commandments. You have to deal with the Old Testament and the New Testament. So that's when you became a sinner. See, back when the Romans, going back 2,000 years ago, you weren't considered sinners because you didn't have the scriptures. But years later, or I'll say more than a millennial later, or 1,000 years later, you came, or a little more than 1,000 years, you came over here to the Americas in the name of God with the Bible in tow. Because at one time, you were against homosexuality and you would read out of the scriptures. So now you pass laws to protect homosexuals, transgender people. So this place is done, man. This place is finished, man. It says to commit iniquity, do wrong, pervert, to do wrong, commit iniquity, to commit iniquity. it goes on to say iniquity, perverse, perversely, perverted, amiss, turn, crooked, bowed down, troubled, wickedly, and wrong. So the Most High is setting up you devils beautifully, man. So let me read that again from 14. Yahweh have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. And now everything is being automated. You have in Boston, and this was what, a week ago. If you were up in Boston, you can actually you go on your Lyft app and have a car pick you up with no one in it. But I believe there's a person in it. I have to go further in it. But the car is going to be driven automatically. And eventually, the next car that will pick you up, there'll be nobody in it. But it'll be basically a robot on wheels. And New York is about to pick that up as well. And I believe they're doing that out there in San Francisco. If I'm not mistaken, the brothers out there, GMS brothers out there in San Francisco, they can do a video on that and they can go out on the streets. So everything is becoming automated. Everything is, you know, you have robots doing the work now. So why would anybody have to work? Anyway, it goes on to say in the 16th verse, in that day shall Egypt, America, be like unto woman. And it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh of hosts, which he shaketh over it. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say Shalom. Yeah, this place, you know, it'd be nice if the Most High took this place out in the year 2018, maybe the end of 2018 or the beginning of 2019. But like I always say, this place will not be taken out until they make the microchip, which is the mark of the beast, mandatory. And that's when a lot of these Israelites out here, they're going to bug out, man, because they're going to not know where to turn. See, they're listen to our videos and listen to whatever leaders that they followed that taught them that the mark of the beast is an embargo on Christianity. And they're going to start, when it actually happens, that's when you're not going to know where to turn. And there's going to be great confusion to a lot of you out there. It's going to cause a lot of you to just get out of Israel altogether and go ahead and take that chip, or remain in the camp that you're in and take the chip anyway because your Lord, your Sith Lord told you to do so. Or some of you are going to try to get closer, you know, come down and watch us and try to get with us. Anyway, with that.